Hi there, it's Nicole for Mama Elephant, and today I have a card showcasing the new Tandem Extras Stamp Set. This is a companion stamp set to the Tandem Ride, and it has additional two little critters, a balloon, some other images, and then a whole bunch of great greetings. To start my card, I have die cut a stitched rectangle using the die from the Basic Dies collection. And I die cut it from some watercolor cardstock because I want to do some blending with distress inks and then apply some water. I'm starting with some cracked pistachio distress ink, and I'm applying that to probably half, almost half, a little over half maybe, of the card base. I guess it's about half. And then I'm going to take some squeezed lemonade distress ink and blend that into the cracked pistachio. I'm going to try to get a tri-blend of colors here for a really bright, colorful, summery type card. Get these blended together. Now right now it isn't blended that well. I'm going to go back with the cracked pistachio and I can blend that even more. I just don't want to get my yellow ink blending tool too much into that green color. Go ahead and set my squeezed lemonade aside, and I'll move on to the spun sugar, which is going to be the pink here, and apply that to that just top little strip. It's going to be the least amount of color. I kind of went for a large block of color, kind of a medium block of color, and then a little thin strip at the top. Again, I'm going to work those colors together until they blend nicely. Those blended pretty well. And then I'm going to take that cracked pistachio and again take my foam ink blending tool and blend that into the yellow. I can blend the yellow now into the pink, and that looks pretty good there. I'm going to spritz that with some water using the mini mister, and I'm going to get it pretty wet. You can see the ink starting to react with that. It kind of moves and will wick away from where the water is applied, and then I'm going to set that aside to dry. I'm going to take another piece of watercolor cardstock now and stamp several of the images from the Tandem Extras Stamp Set. I'm going to go ahead and stamp 3 balloons. I'm only going to use 2, but I always like to kind of stamp an extra just in case. In fact, I had to stamp an extra beaver because the first one I didn't like how I colored him. I am using the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers here for a watercolored look to match the background of my card. I'm starting with 060. Going to kind of trace the outside of my critter, and then I'll take my 072 and I'm going to it'll blend out that first color. I'm going to kind of pull it out towards the middle of the head here and just kind of keep working and blending, pulling that color out even more. And then I will take a third color and kind of color in that middle part of the face. So this is 071. This is actually the flesh color, but I think it works good for my purposes here. It blends really nicely. I'm pulling some of that 072 into this color, and I blend and blend until I get those nice and blended together, adding a little more of that mid-tone color there. I didn't have quite enough. You want to be a little careful. The water will make the paper start to pill eventually, depending on what watercolor paper you're using. Color in the insides of the ears there with my lightest color. And then I can go ahead and start working on the body. I've also found that if you work in smaller areas, like do the face or the head first and then move on to the body and so on and so forth, you get a little bit better results. So I try to do one little area at a time. I'm still trying to blend those 3 colors on my little critter, and I think that worked out well. It makes his tummy area look lighter. My first balloon got a little darker than I like. This is why I usually stamp more than what I need. Just in case I don't like something, I don't have to go back and get my stamp out. I'm going to blend my first 2 colors together here to get this kind of tealish aqua balloon. It's going to really match that cracked pistachio on the background of my card. blend those out. And this one's a little bit lighter. That's more what I was looking for. And then there's cute little round cheeks on the balloon. I'm going to use a couple shades of pink in 202 and 200 to color those in. So start with my darkest color, just lay down a little bit of that, then take the lighter color and pull that down, blending the two colors. I found that that works the best when we're using these Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. Now I thought I would use purple, that's why I was showing it there, but I changed my mind and decided to go with yellow. I'm going to start with my 050, my darker color, and then I'll take my lighter yellow and blend these out. Now they're pretty similar in color, but the one is just a tiny bit darker. You can go back in and add a little bit more if you need to. Again, I'm going to use those two shades of pink to color in the cheeks. Once those are nice and blended, I can take and the ink has dried, I can take the coordinating dies, the Tandem Extras dies, tape those in place and die cut them. My background is dry, so I've got my critter, my balloons, and the background, and now I need to die cut some clouds. I'm going to die cut one cloud border. I've die cut the rectangle, and I'm going to die cut the landscape trio cloud border from that, so it's exactly the same size as my watercolored piece. So I have a white cloud bank that is going to be where I stamp my greeting, and then I'm going to have a vellum cloud bank that's going to be behind the other elements on my card. So I can kind of tuck the critters in between those two cloud banks. The vellum also allows you to see some of that fun watercoloring background going on so that it's not covered up too much. It'll mute it a little bit and give the illusion of clouds, but it won't cover it up completely. Now I have my scrap of paper here. I'm going to keep it real quick so that I can make sure that when I stamp my greeting, I like how it looks. I love the big greetings like this, stamping them with the Hero Arts ombre inks. And so I'm going to try that out. This is a new stamp. A lot of times it's best if you stamp a new stamp off a couple times, and you'll get a much better impression when you stamp it on your actual project. So I've inked it up there, moved it back and forth just a tiny little bit, and then stamped that on that white cloud bank. And you can see how it goes from light to medium to dark, which is exactly what I was looking for there. I love how that looks. And that works well to coordinate with my card here today. This is the ombre ink in mint to green. Go ahead and take the black gel pen and add definition to the eyes, the nose on the beaver, and then the eyes on the balloons. I always like to finish off with that. Once the black is dry there on the eyes, well, first I'll go ahead and add some little dots to the cheeks on the balloons. And I can add some dots to my critter on his cheeks as well. Fun little finishing detail. And when his eyes are dry, you can add catch lights to the eyes with a white pen. Now that I have everything stamped, I am ready to put it all together. I'm going to start with my vellum cloud bank on the bottom of my watercolor background panel. Then I can add the white cloud bank with the greeting. Take my little critter, I'm going to tuck him kind of sitting there right behind the front cloud bank, behind the front cloud bank, but on top of the vellum one. And then I'm going to tuck my little balloons here. So first I want to place them exactly where I want them to go, so I have an idea where I need to place my adhesive. So it looks like he's kind of floating up in the clouds. I placed a glue dot on the larger part and then placed some little dots of liquid glue on the balloon string itself. And I got a little mess there with my glue, so I wiped it up real quick. Go ahead and do the same thing for the other one. For this one, I don't have to have that cloud string in his hand. It can just kind of be assumed. Tuck that there. Need to fix the eye. I got a little wild with the white, so I went back in with the black once it dried. Then I'm going to take some pretty pink posh sequins and add a scattering of sequins throughout the card. to finish off the design. So I think everything I'm using here is either iridescent or the sparkling clear to lend to the theme and feel of this card. And I like to use these dots, bling glue dots. They're teeny tiny glue dots. It means no mess, no glue squishing out underneath the sequins. They're very sticky and they work really well. So that is my preferred adhesive for adding sequins or little teeny tiny pieces or confetti things to cards. Now, if that glue that got on the background there, the liquid glue, if you let it dry all the way, you can usually take an eraser, that's what I did just there, and erase it up, and it will kind of pull up without damaging your card. It's a little tip for if you accidentally get liquid glue anywhere, just make sure you let it dry completely, and then you can kind of erase it and get rid of any of that excess glue around your images, and it doesn't ruin the design. I will finish adding the rest of these sequins, and that will complete my card. I can take this panel now and I'm going to adhere it to a white card base. Since there's so much going on this panel, I felt like it didn't really need any additional color with the base of the card. And then just use some nice strong adhesive. I like the Glue Arts Permatac Glue Glider. Guess I'm going to add a couple more sequins before I adhere my panel to the card. Get those all picked up. And here's my nice strong adhesive. I'm going to just place that actually on my card base and then take my panel to that, and that finishes the design. Thanks for watching this video showcasing the new Mama Elephant Tandem Extras Stamp Set and coordinating dies. The supplies I've used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.